love wounds never truly fade. And tonight, the drama unfolding in Yandy and Mendeecees' world proves just that. Rumors are swirling, whispers are growing louder, and fans can't stop asking one question. Has an old flame returned to reignite chaos in their marriage? Reports claim that a woman from Mendeecees' past, the very one tied to shocking stories years ago, has suddenly resurfaced. And if the gossip is true, she isn't just back in town quietly. No, she's allegedly reaching out, stirring memories and creating waves of doubt in Yandy's heart. Viewers are left clutching their seats as speculation spreads like wildfire. Could this be the breaking point for a couple already tested by public scrutiny and private battles? Sources hint that Yandy has been spotted looking distressed, even confiding to close friends about divorce. Meanwhile, fans online are split, some defending Mendeecees fiercely, others accusing him of never letting go of his past. Emotions are high, the atmosphere tense, and the streets are buzzing with questions. Is this the end of Yandy and Mendeecees' love story? Or just another storm they'll survive together? One thing is certain, the spotlight is hotter than ever, and the truth is about to shake everyone watching. The air around Yandy and Mendeecees, it's always been filled with a mixture of admiration and controversy. But this time, the whispers have grown louder than ever. People are saying that an old chapter, one that many thought was closed for good, has somehow forced its way back into the present. The resurfacing of Mendeecees' old flame has started a storm of speculation. And it's not just harmless gossip. It's the kind of rumor that can shatter the fragile trust that holds a marriage together, especially one lived under constant public scrutiny. Friends close to the couple are reportedly torn, unsure of what to believe. Some insist this woman is deliberately trying to stir up drama. Others argue that Mendeecees himself might have left the door cracked open. Whatever the truth, Yandy has found herself at the center of unwanted attention, battling doubts that refuse to stay silent. And fans everywhere are watching, dissecting every post, every interview, every glance between the two. The supposed old flame, whose name is whispered but not loudly spoken, is said to have once shared a deep connection with Mendeecees during a time when his life was far less stable. Back then, before the family life with Yandy and before the attempts at building a future, he was caught up in chaos. And this woman was a part of that world. Now she has allegedly reached out again. Perhaps out of longing, perhaps out of spite. No one can really tell, but the timing feels deliberate, almost too calculated. As if she knew that stepping back into the spotlight would set everything on fire, Yandy. Y, always strong on the surface, has reportedly been struggling behind closed doors. In one conversation overheard by someone close, she was heard saying, "I can't keep fighting ghosts from the past. How many times do I have to prove myself while the people around him keep trying to drag us down?" Those words reveal exhaustion, a sense of carrying weight that was never hers to bear. Social media has amplified the tension. Fans have been posting side-by-side comparisons, digging into old photos, speculating about timelines. Some swear they've seen subtle signs in Mendeecees' recent behavior. Moments where he seemed distant or distracted, as if battling thoughts he couldn't share. Others dismiss it all, saying he's been nothing but devoted to Yandy. Yet the whispers won't stop. And with each new day, more fragments of supposed truth find their way online. The most explosive claim comes from a source who insists that Yandy confronted Mendeecees directly about the resurfaced woman. Allegedly, the conversation was anything but calm. In heated tones, Yandy demanded answers, saying, "If she's back in your life in any way, I need to know now. I won't be blindsided again." And Mendeecees, caught off guard, is said to have tried to reassure her, insisting that there was nothing happening, nothing to hide. But his reassurances, rather than calming her, it's only fueled further suspicion. Family members haven't remained silent either. Those who know the couple personally have shared conflicting reactions. One relative supposedly sided with Yandy, telling her, "Don't ignore your instincts because history has a way of repeating itself." Another defended Mendeecees, claiming he's changed. He's not that man anymore, and it's unfair to keep punishing him for what happened before. This divide within the circle closest to them has only deepened the done uncertainty. The alleged old flame, meanwhile, seems to be enjoying the attention. Though she hasn't spoken openly, cryptic posts on her social media accounts have sparked debates. Vague captions about unfinished business and the past always catching up have been screenshotted and circulated everywhere. Fans are torn between believing she's stirring the pot for clout and fearing that she's hinting at something real. The tension reached a peak when, during what was supposed to be a family event, Yandy reportedly broke down in tears. Sources claim she pulled aside a close friend and whispered, "Maybe divorce is the only way to protect my peace." I can't live with this constant fear of betrayal." Those words shocked everyone who heard them because until now, Yandy has always been the one fighting hardest to keep the marriage strong. The thought of her even considering walking away has left both fans and friends questioning whether this time the damage is too. Deep supporters of the couple have flooded timelines with messages of encouragement, urging them to stay strong. At the same time, critics are quick to say this was inevitable, that unresolved ties from the past always come back to haunt. The divide in public opinion mirrors the division within the couple themselves. While some believe this is just another obstacle they will overcome, others predict the cracks may finally break the foundation completely in one particularly tense moment. It's said that Mendeecees tried to explain himself to Yandy late at night, telling her, "I've moved on from all of that. It doesn't mean anything now. You're the only one I want." But Yandy's silence and response spoke volumes. Her heart heavy with doubt couldn't easily be soothed by words alone. As if the situation wasn't complicated enough. Rumors are now suggesting that the old flame has been seen in the same spaces as Mendeecees, recently attending events where he was present. Though no photos have surfaced, the mere idea has sent fans into a frenzy. Was it a coincidence or something more deliberate? Yandy's reaction to these whispers remains unknown, but those close to her say the stress is beginning to take a visible toll. Through it all, one thing is clear. The resurfacing of this old connection has opened wounds that never fully healed. Whether it was ever more than rumors, the impact is undeniable. The doubts, the arguments, the tensionettes, all building into a storm that neither Yandy nor Mendeecees can easily escape. And as the world watches, waiting for the next revelation, the question hangs heavy in the air. Can love survive when the past refuses to stay buried? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of reality TV's most watched couples? The whispers didn't fade after that night. If anything, they only grew louder. Every glance between Yandy and Mendeecees in public was dissected like a scene out of a reality show. Fans convinced they could read the truth between their expressions. When cameras caught Yandy walking alone at an event where she usually appeared proudly by her husband's side, speculation reached a fever pitch. People were certain it was a silent statement, a message that not everything was fine behind the scenes. Back at home, tensions were said to be boiling. Insiders claimed the arguments became routine, each one more exhausting than the last. Yandy reportedly accused Mendeecees of underestimating the pain these rumors brought into her life. She allegedly cried out during one confrontation, "You don't understand what it's like for me. People look at me and think I'm weak for staying. Like I'm some fool who can't see what's right in front of her." Her voice, heavy with both anger and heartbreak, is said to have shaken Mendeecees, but not enough to erase her doubts. Mendeecees, for his part, kept insisting that this resurfaced flame meant nothing, that the stories were twisted for attention. Yet the more he defended himself, the more defensive he sounded, and that defensiveness only fueled the fire. According to a close associate, one argument escalated to the point where Ment shouted, "How many times do I have to prove myself to you? I can't control what people say about me. I can only control how I treat you, and I've been nothing but loyal." But instead of settling the matter, the shouting left the house in silence, a silence heavy enough to drown in. Meanwhile, the alleged old flame was fueling the story without ever directly naming names. She posted a picture of herself at a familiar restaurant. One that fans quickly pointed out was a place Mendeecees had been spotted in not long ago. The comment section lit up instantly, fans tagging Yandy and demanding answers. Was it coincidence, or was she deliberately trying to ignite chaos? Her subtle smirks in the photos only added to the suspicion that she knew exactly what she was doing. The couple's friends were caught in the middle, forced to pick sides in a drama they wished would die down. One mutual friend, frustrated, reportedly told Yandy, "You know he loves you, but your heart won't let you trust him. If you can't let go of the past, you'll always find yourself in the same fight." Those words, though meant to be comforting, only added to her inner conflict. Yandy knew she was torn between her love for her hoe. Openly contemplating divorce left the fan base divided. Some supported her, praising her strength for considering self-respect over loyalty. Others begged her not to give up. Kay insisting the bond she shared with Mendeecees was worth fighting for. Mendeecees, under pressure, reportedly tried to regain control of the narrative. He reached out to Yandy with grand gestures, flowers, quiet moments meant to rebuild what had been broken. One source claimed he told her, "I can't lose you. Not over something that doesn't even exist anymore. I need you to trust me the way you did when everyone else turned their back." The plea was heartfelt. But for Yandy, trust wasn't something that could be gifted back instantly at the same time. Her own emotions were tearing her apart. She was seen with red eyes after a long night. Her close circle claiming she hadn't slept, too busy replaying every rumor, every post, every half-truth that now felt like a threat. The pressure of holding herself together for the world while falling apart inside was becoming unbearable. Fans began speculating about what a divorce would mean for the family. Would it split the children, divide the business ventures, force the couple into a public war? Or would they find a way to part quietly, keeping the world guessing? Every scenario was dissected. Every potential outcome turned into a headline. And just when people thought the story couldn't get more tangled, new whispers emerged that the old flame wasn't acting alone. Rumors claimed she had allies. People feeding her information about Yandy and Mendeecees' current life, fueling her ability to stay relevant in the drama. The thought of betrayal coming not just from the past, but from within their circle of trust added another layer of pain to Yandy's world. The emotional roller coaster only seemed to accelerate with each day bringing more speculation, more tension, and more doubt. And while the couple tried to maintain some sense of normalcy in public, the cracks were obvious to anyone paying attention. The cracks that once seemed manageable were now showing everywhere. People close to Yandy whispered that her smile had grown thinner, her patience shorter, and her voice carried the weight of someone constantly walking on edge. Though she still appeared in public, her glow felt dimmed. It's like a woman fighting battles no one could fully see. One evening, during what was supposed to be a calm dinner at home, the storm erupted once more. Yandy allegedly confronted Mendeecees with her phone in hand, showing him yet another cryptic post from the resurfaced woman. The caption read, "It's funny how the past always circles back when you least expect it," paired with a photo of a familiar neighborhood spot. Yandy's voice reportedly broke as she asked, "Are you going to keep telling me this is just coincidence? How many coincidences do I have to live through before I realize I'm being played?" Mendeecees, exhausted and frustrated, is said to have slammed his hand on the table and shouted, "I don't even talk to her! Why can't you see that she's only doing this to mess with you, to mess with us?" His anger wasn't just at Yandy, but at the situation spiraling beyond his control. Yet for Yandy, anger wasn't enough. What she wanted was reassurance that reached deeper than words. Reassurance that could silence the storm in her heart. Their children, though shielded from much of the drama, couldn't help but notice the tension. Whispers from those close to the family suggest the kids began asking quiet questions, sensing the distance between their parents. "Why are you and Mommy fighting?" one reportedly asked, leaving both Yandy and Mendeecees shaken. The thought of their turmoil spilling over into their children's lives only added to the pressure weighing on them, as if emotions weren't already raw. Fans and followers became relentless. They dissected body language in recent photos, pointing out moments where Yandy's hand wasn't resting in Mendeecees as it used to. Comments flooded every post. "Are you okay? Don't let him hurt you again. Walk away if you need to." The constant chorus from strangers only magnified what Yandy was already wrestling with internally. The alleged old flame, meanwhile, seemed to thrive on the chaos. She appeared more confident, posting pictures of herself dressed glamorously, captions dripping with hints of nostalgia. One particularly bold post read, "Some connections never die. No matter how hard people try to bury them, it was never clear if she meant Mendeecees directly." But the implication was strong enough to send shockwaves through fans who quickly linked the dots. Rumor swirled that she had even reached out privately, attempting to reignite contact. Though no proof was shown, whispers spread that a direct message had been sent. One Yandy may have discovered, whether true or fabricated. The possibility alone was enough to send emotions spiraling further. Within their circle, the divide deepened. Some close friends urged Yandy to step back and take time away from the relationship to clear her mind and protect her spirit. Others encouraged her to fight harder, insisting that letting go now would mean handing victory to the woman who clearly wanted to stir the pot. Torn between these conflicting voices, Yandy felt herself unraveling, pulled in every direction without clarity of what she truly wanted. During one intense night, a heated exchange reportedly ended with Yandy saying the words no one expected to hear. Maybe divorce isn't a threat anymore. Maybe it's the answer? The silence that followed those words was described as crushing. A silence so heavy it felt like the house itself was holding its breath. Mendeecees, stunned, allegedly whispered back, "You don't mean that. You can't mean that." But the look in her eyes suggested otherwise suggested. She was at least beginning to believe it. The online world only added fuel to the fire. Blogs began running headlines about the possible split. fans debating whether they had seen the couple together in recent days. Hashtags popped up demanding clarity while others begged for privacy. Every photo, every sighting, every moment became evidence in a trial fought by strangers who felt invested in the love story. Behind closed doors, Mendeecees reportedly tried one last time to bridge the growing distance. He planned a private evening away from the cameras, away from the noise. Candles, music, soft reassurances, all meant to remind Yandy of the love they once celebrated. But even in that setting, the ghost of the past lingered. According to those who know them, Yandy listened, nodded, but her eyes carried the weight of someone who had already started, imagining a life without the constant shadow of doubt. The emotional toll was evident not just in their marriage, but in their work and daily lives. Colleagues noted Yandy seemed distracted, less focused, her energy drained by personal battles that refused to stay private. Mendeecees, usually composed in public, appeared restless, often checking his phone, avoiding conversations that drifted too close to home. Rumors then surfaced of a potential meeting between Mendeecees and the old flame. Not one arranged by him, but a chance encounter at an event. Though no proof was ever shown, the idea alone was enough to reignite every suspicion. Fans speculated wildly. Did they talk? Did they ignore each other, or did something more happen behind the scenes? The lack of clarity became its own kind of truth, eating into Yandy's fears. Those close to her revealed that Yandy began questioning not just Mendeecees, but herself. Was she strong for holding on this long, or foolish for allowing history to dictate her present? In private conversations, she reportedly admitted, "I don't know who I am in this anymore. I don't know if I'm fighting for love or fighting against my own pride." Or fighting against my own pride. The woman who once embodied resilience now felt cornered, unsure if continuing the marriage meant sacrificing herself piece by piece. And though Mendeecees pleaded with her to trust him, every new whisper, every social media post, every rumor made that trust harder to rebuild. The tension had reached a point where both seemed to be bracing for something bigger. Friends and fans alike sensed it. The next move could either heal everything or break it for good. The question looming was no longer whether the old flame had truly resurfaced, but whether the shadow she cast had already done irreversible damage to a love that once felt unshakable. The weight pressing on Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage had grown unbearable. Every rumor, every cryptic post, every whisper about the resurfaced woman added another stone to a pile that already felt impossible to carry. What once seemed like background noise had now become the loudest voice in their home. Echoing through every conversation, every glance, every silence, Yandy's strength had always been her armor. She had stood by Mendeecees through trials, through prison, through public scrutiny. But even the strongest armor begins to crack when attacked from the same angle over and over. One night, sitting alone in her living room, she reportedly told a friend on the phone, "People think I'm unbreakable, but I'm tired. I'm tired of proving I'm loyal to someone who doesn't even realize how much it costs me." Her voice, described as soft but trembling, revealed exhaustion more than anger. The alleged old flame seemed almost gleeful in her subtle attacks. She never directly named Mendeecees, but her captions carried sharp edges. "It's funny how some men pretend to be brand new, but their heart never really leaves the past," she wrote in one post. Paired with a photo of herself in a city familiar to both fans and the couple, the internet lit up instantly, convinced she was taking shots at Yandy's marriage. The comment section turned into a battlefield, supporters defending Yandy's dignity. While others accused Mir, but neither wants to be the one to say it's really over. And yet, even in the darkest moments, glimpses of their love still broke through. One night after a particularly heated argument, Yandy reportedly sat in silence, tears streaking her face. Mendeecees walked over slowly, sat beside her, and whispered, "Tell me what you need. I'll do it. I can't lose you. Not like this." Yandy's response was simple but devastating. "I need to trust you again, and I don't know if I ever will." Those words cut deeper than any argument because they weren't fueled by rage but by truth. It wasn't about whether Mendeecees was innocent or guilty. It was about the wounds that had reopened, wounds that time and effort might never fully heal. As days passed, both tried to maintain normal appearances for the public. They attended a family event together, smiling for the cameras, but those who know them said the smiles didn't reach their eyes. Behind the posed photos was a couple on the brink, unsure if they were holding hands to stay together or to keep from drifting apart. Rumors of counseling began circulating, with some insiders suggesting they were seeking professional help to salvage what remained. Others, however, insisted Yandy had already emotionally checked out, that her heart had begun preparing for life on her own. Whichever version was true, one thing was undeniable. The resurfacing of Mendeecees' old flame had shaken their marriage to its very core, leaving scars that might never fade. The question haunting everyone now was simple. Would love be enough to carry them through, or had the past finally done what years of trials couldn't drive them apart for good? The story of Yandy and Mendeecees has left everyone asking hard questions about love, loyalty, and the weight of the past. Fans have watched them stand strong through trials that would have broken most couples. But the return of an old flame has shaken their bond like never before. The choice in front of them is one no partner ever wants to face. Fight for a marriage that feels like it's slipping away, or walk away for the sake of peace. As this storm continues, the world is left wondering if trust can ever truly be rebuilt once it's been shattered. Can Yandy and Mendeecees rewrite their story, or has the past already written the ending for them? What do you think? Should Yandy fight to save the marriage, or is it finally time to close this chapter and protect her peace? Share your thoughts below, because this is one conversation that's far from